Welcome to
Not Your Average Momcast. Welcome back. We are hanging out with Autumn and Becca again, and I thought we could just kind of fall back into where we left things off last time and kind of dive into your relationship together as friends, but then when you found out that you both were pregnant.
Yeah, it's funny that our kids are only 5 weeks apart.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. I think that's...
I don't even understand how that happened because...
we obviously didn't plan it, we've established.
No, we planned a visit to see each other, though. And what's funny is every time Becca would come into town, because I didn't drive until I was 28, I would go get a case of beer coming home from work. And I walked into the house all smiles, waiting for Becca and Andy to be there. And she's like, I have a surprise. And I was like, what? She's like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this beer now?
That is
like,
not
what?
a surprise that you were planning on. You thought it was like mushrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. So later on, I did mushrooms like 2-3 weeks later and realized it wasn't working. And I didn't feel it in my jaw. And I was like, holy crap. Hey, man, do you feel this? Hey, man, Oh, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, what is going on?
Pregnant.
So I decided to take a pregnancy test. It didn't even take 3 damn minutes. Those were when digital ones were new back in the day. I took one of those digitals, and it was like, I ran to Matt's work. Ran.
Do you feel that you got pregnant at the right time? Looking back, even though it wasn't planned.
I had just quit my job. Not only did
she's like, hell no, I did not get pregnant at the right time.
Well, my first son's dad and I were both working in like home health care for individuals with like developmental disabilities. And that company was so corrupt, and we called them out on it. And we both got fired on the same day.
Oh, shit. Oh, so no.
And we were like, okay.
That's how pregnancies happen.
We're going to North Carolina. We're going to go hang out at Myrtle Beach and go see like Old Crow Medicine Show 4 times. And we just went on this epic trip, and that's how he was conceived.
Was that trip to North Carolina?
Yeah. And then we got back and like we were
the kid's a fucking genius. I'm just letting you know.
We were
He's
trying to party.
Genius.
And then I ended up like I couldn't party. Like I couldn't keep up with anybody. Like my body would just reject it. And there's not a lot that you can do to hurt a forming fetus at that stage in the game at like 7 weeks. But my body was like, nope, you're done. And then I was like, something's wrong with me. And I started waking up at 4 o'clock every morning and smelling the cat's litter box.
Oh,
and I would go
supersonic mom smell.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and then
a
I
thing.
had to stop. I had to stop sleeping in that area of the house because like, it wasn't even that the cat box was dirty. It's just that it existed. And then I was like, oh no. And then I got like a toothache that turned into a sinus infection that turned into, I might be pregnant. And I had to go to a friend's house, and she already had one just like in a drawer somewhere and was like, yeah, go take it.
And it was.
And it was like instant panic, both of the opposite ends of the spectrum. Like I was like super, super happy. Like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And then also like, what am I doing
Complete dread.
with my life? I'm not done. I'm not done having fun, but in reality, if I had continued down that road, I probably wouldn't have survived it.
We were 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were both 23.
So, Autumn, do you feel like you got pregnant at the right time?
I feel the universe told me I got pregnant at the right time, yes, because it saved me a lot.
Well, I think it could be argued that it saved your life.
Mom and you and other people definitely believe that Ziggy was a miracle and did save my life.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. I wasn't on the track of ever trying to fix that. And I was the problem in myself making money with it, which even made it 10 times worse because I was addicted to that also.
That's where we were different. Like I couldn't force myself to be addicted to opiates. I would just get sick.
Well, see, again, that's the yin and the yang. Like, we're complete opposites, but at the same time, our souls are like the same. Sometimes we dress the same too. I was told I wasn't supposed to have children for years.
Yeah.
That it wasn't happening because I have an imbalance in hormones. And I don't think if it would have happened then, I would have lasted more than 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's pushing it.
Yeah.
That's really pushing it.
Yeah, your addiction was pretty bad then.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, I was pretty open about the fact that I didn't plan on living past 25.
I mean, we were all kind of content with it. I mean, I guess that was the YOLO thing back in the day. We just all thought, forever 27, you know, like we're the cool kids. This is what we do. I actually remember still it goes back and forth that I thought all that stuff was normal in the first place. I didn't understand that wasn't what people did for fun.
Yeah.
You know? Like, people are having sleepovers and eating popcorn and watching new movies coming out, and I'm, like, on my way to Pittsburgh to go find heroin. That was fun for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thrill part of it kind of sucks you, too, down in. But
I was just the driver.
yeah, I was always the one with the money and where to go get it, so I don't know. That was fun, and it was thrilling, so I could take a lot of people on it with me, you know? In any aspect of it, if you were going to do it or not. I mean, I didn't care if you did.
Yeah. So I think it's safe to say, looking back in that part of your life, could you ever imagine being where you are today?
Hell no.
I never wanted to be a mom.
No.
I didn't want to be a mom either.
And not only like a mom, but to be doing things on my own.
Doing things on your own, like
To be like holding down my
like
my own
adulting.
household.
Yeah.
Adulting.
Yeah. Like paying the bills, being responsible for you're responsible for absolutely everything.
Staying at a job for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
I just really feel that for when I'm going to say the word groomed, you were groomed to believe college is the next step and that is it.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's safe to say probably 75 to 80% of people, that's not how it goes.
To be fair, I did go back to college.
Well, yes, I'm saying that happens for sure.
Not
but,
that I do anything with my illustration degree.
Oh, you do projects with your illustration.
You're an
degree.
artiste.
I do hella
Artiste.
projects. They're just not profitable. I'm just like, I want to be a bird.
The crow has been born.
That is the artiste in you.
It's okay. This year I'm going to be a pigeon.
Okay. What does that entail?
It's going to mean I'm going to be a fat orb of a bird and be able to sit down and like roost and make it like a beanbag so that I can actually relax.
Okay.
So
Just
like
sit there being this giant lump of pigeon.
when a cat does that, it's called a loaf. What would it be if a pigeon does that?
That's
A bun?
I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about at this point.
No, birds get round. They
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
round.
they like floof their feathers up.
Yeah,
and
so
like,
that's what I want to
Cream
do. I wanna
puff.
Be like,
they
cream puff.
poof up a bit.
you can call it Borb.
Borg. That's too close to that Borg thing that those college kids are doing now.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you haven't heard about that?
No.
So back in the day, Becca and I just used to run around campus with 40s and backpacks. And now
No,
what
they do a gallon.
they do gallon jugs, which is super safe. You are the one that controls what goes into that. And it's always capped and you're carrying it. So it's very safe.
Like you name it.
Yeah, you're supposed to name it and stuff. They call them Borgs.
So like
but,
you can use it for binge drinking. You can. Or
But you control
but you can
what's
also
there.
control like the amount of nutrients that are in it. You can control whether or not you get roofied.
Oh, because that's like I just bring my whole
Yeah, this
situation
is
with
mine.
me.
This
Got
is the
you.
only thing I'm drinking.
Yeah.
And it's way safer.
Oh wow.
We just used to pass things to like 30 people and get
yeah.
it back, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and then COVID happened years after that. That explains a lot.
And now they've got the Borg. I think my favorite one was Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes. Yes.
Rest in peace.
You do a pun-based name for your book.
Yes.
What are fears that you have for your children?
Adequacy. That I am not adequate. That's the biggest insecurity that I have. Not even really inadequacy, but, and this is such a selfish worry for me, but that they're going to grow up and not want to hang out with me. That they're going to want to, like, live with their dads full time.
Oh.
Because, like, their dads are their heroes. And
Yeah.
that's not to say that I'm not painted in a wonderful light in their brains. Because I know that, like, I mean, our household is full of love, but there's always that thought in the back of my mind, like, what about when these kids are 15?
Mm-hmm.
What about when they're
Well, like when
trying to separate themselves and create their own identities? Like, are they even gonna like me?
Oh God.
Like, are they gonna want to hang out at my house? Are they still gonna want things to be equal? Because by that point, I would want them to have a say in it.
Yeah.
Even if that say means that they spend less time around me. I don't want that to happen. Like, I'm
cry
obviously
just thinking about that.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes me cry.
Yeah.
That's where my brain goes when I have anxiety attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Is it goes to, like, you're not doing this enough, like, you're not good enough, you are going to ruin your children, and they're going to hate you, and then they're not going to want to live with you when they're older.
Agree.
But, okay, so, but I think and we've touched on this a bit, that you have great counterparts.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like they would 100% support.
Oh, they would advocate for me.
Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, it's not like I'm going to make any crazy, horrible decisions regarding my kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Yeah.
It was definitely a part of my life before, but not now.
Autumn, do you have a fear
Yeah.
similar to Becca's, or?
I mean, I definitely agree with what she said.
It stems from always wanting to be able to do more and to, like,
Yeah.
just be able to provide, like, my kids should want for nothing.
Mm-hmm. I think that's any parent's, like, goal, but God, in this day and age now,
Yeah, you gotta break it down and be like, you know what, you gotta want for, like, a little.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, you got a little want there.
How is it a constant fear of yours to just be like, I am trying my hardest to not, like, raise a little Jeffrey Dahmer, like, just, like, having the structure, having the discipline, but also, like, giving them too much, or just the entitlement, or there's no parenting handbook.
No. I don't even think you could even try to do a handbook there's so many things as a parent nowadays, like you said earlier with the 11 and 6-year-old difference.
Yeah.
When you basically, you don't have much control of what your child sees or hears or anything on a daily basis. I don't care what app you use. I don't care what you use to track your children. If you do, I don't care what you do to watch their phone, or you watch their phone physically, or be with them at all times. It doesn't matter. It's uncontrollable what goes on. So, I mean, I will say one thing. We parent, we understand how each other parent. So, like, if I'm at her house, you know, like, I would say things the way she would want things said to her child, you know, and if Ziggy needs stopped, she would definitely, you know, but, crap, drug brain.
That's just left right at kids.
Damn it.
Children are born, like, when they're born, there are so many different psychological traits that you have nothing to do with you, except that they may also be present in your DNA.
Yeah.
But you don't know when those traits are going to be expressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, every kid's different.
Well, I agree that, because, like, here's Autumn and I, we're sisters. We were raised the same, essentially, but we have
I just do hood rat shit like my dad.
we just have very different paths that we took.
I'm not like either of my parents.
Yeah.
I'm like my grandma.
What I was getting to earlier is that
name?
Becca and I we really do keep it real with our children.
Mm-hmm.
We break things down and explain to them every aspect of something. We're into being real with our kids.
Well, I think I personally, I like that approach.
I personally probably people probably think I'm way too real with my kid,
but there's only so much protecting that you can do, though, too, in the day and age that we live in, with everything that they're exposed to.
I don't think that we're on the same, like, in the same area of the spectrum as far as what our kids are exposed to, and like what's, like, our rules are different.
Agree.
But like,
Agree.
I mean, it's different because like Oliver, the other side of his family, like they are also super conservative.
Mm-hmm.
His dad lives with his parents. They, like, there's a lot of things that he probably could get away with, like listening to or talking about, like candidly talking about at my house than he could over there. With Leo, it's kind of the opposite. But I try to make sure that they know what's acceptable and what's not, what you can do at school and what you have to never do at school, like finger guns, apparently.
I remember the story. You're going to have to tell this story.
Shit. My kid got sent to the principal's office for doing finger guns.
Finger guns. You know, why'd you send your kid to school with finger guns?
I remember taking cap guns when I was a kid. I took Evan's cap guns, and I never even got sent home for that. Your kid gets sent home for frickin' finger guns.
For doing like the cool guy, like the Fonz.
That's bullshit.
Like, it wasn't even like, oh, I'm gonna kill you or anything. Yeah. He was like, nope, just like, hey.
Like we said, things are different.
I called his dad and told him that he got sent to the principal's office, and he was like, well, did you tell them that he's 5?
Gosh. Okay, Becca, do your children act differently when they're with their dad versus with their mom?
I would assume so. We try to give them as much consistency as possible, but I feel I feel like a fun mom.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much have free reign in my house, except, I mean, they have a pretty strict bedtime. Like, we have our daily routine and all of that. Mm-hmm. But as far as like what they watch or the games that they play, like, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
And it is like subject to be removed, like, via consequence at any time. But I don't know. We're just super chilled out.
Mm-hmm.
At my house. And I don't know if their dad's houses have the same kind of atmosphere or what were like the nitty-gritty details of it.
Yeah.
I just know that, like, the aspects where we've strived to provide consistency, that it's there. I think that Oliver acts the same either way. I think Leo is he's a wild card.
Yeah.
He is very much a miniature version of me.
Yeah.
Which is threatening. There are several times I've called my mom and been like, I'm so sorry. Because I know I did this when I was a kid, but now he's doing it to me, and I really wanted to apologize. And my mom's like, oh, welcome to the club.
What are your hopes for the future for your children, your children's future? What are your hopes for them?
Just that they'll be decent humans.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And the world, hopefully, will be decent enough for them.
Yeah.
Because God only knows at this rate. Autumn, do you have any hopes for Ziggy?
I definitely hope he doesn't turn out like I did things. No, I just hope that he is more self-aware than what I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was very lost for a long time, and I didn't realize that until I came out of, years and years of, even after being sober for years. I mean, I just hope he is a lot more self-aware than what I was, for sure. And I, of course, you know, as a parent, want him to succeed and do way better.
Yeah.
With everything, actually.
So I briefly told you earlier that my co-host, Kenna, who would have been here, she's preparing for her son's surgery tomorrow. Her son is 1 year old. He's going to Morgantown tomorrow, and he's going to have surgery. What is some advice, because you know that she's dealing with that? Autumn, I know you've been with that with Ziggy. Becca, I don't know if you've had a medical situation with your two boys, but that fear of them being sick or injured, obviously you've experienced that at some point. So what would some advice be to her as she prepares for this for her son?
We had an RSV scare whenever Leo was like 6 months old.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up in Columbus. I had to ride with him in the ambulance and pinch him every time he fell asleep because his oxygen was too low.
That's terrifying.
It was terrifying. And then we had just found out that another friend of ours, that his son had passed away unexpectedly in the night from a fever. So that was the only reason that we went to the hospital. But that aside, it is incredibly scary. I mean, that surgery is planned, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But it's scary nonetheless. I think my only advice would be to ask all of the questions that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the person in front of you can't answer them, then it'll get you in the right position to find whoever can.
Yeah.
And then don't be afraid to heckle an insurance company.
Yeah.
I would definitely say just be present. Don't be overbearing with love with the child.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't know what's going on either. I don't care if he's 1. I don't care if he's 8. You know, you got to realize there's people big and small, you know, have to adjust to what's going on too. Don't be, you know, be present and take care of yourself, because you have to be present for that child. You have to remember to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not mom and dad time. It's mom take care of herself, dad take care of himself.
Yeah.
Mom take care. It doesn't matter.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself, even if it's an hour walk around the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, while somebody's sleeping, or you go buy yourself that Starbucks because it would make you happy at that point. It's
Yeah.
because the child needs you.
That's also one of the things, like, about not being in control.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can sit and stew all day about things that you're worried about. I mean, like your kids' well-being and how safe they are in the medical team's hands, but you have to focus on the things that you can control so that you won't drive yourself crazy.
Exactly.
Worrying about the things that you can't.
Okay. So before I ask my last question, I want you to think of something crazy. You don't have to answer right now. We'll think of something like the craziest thing your freaking kid has ever done that you were just like, why? What are you doing? Why I'm raising this? Let that simmer there for a bit. We'll come back. So this might be news to my sister. I've been off birth control since June. I'm just going to let things happen as they happen. But what would some advice be to me wanting to start my own motherhood journey?
I think you're already doing everything that you need to do. Because there isn't really a way to be that, like, there's no way to be prepared.
Yeah.
As long as you're taking care of yourself and making sure that you as a vessel are providing the best environment that you can. I mean, neither of us did that.
No.
But they turned out just fine anyway.
Thanks, because now what I was going to say doesn't even work.
I
was going to say, just like I said to your friend, to take care of yourself. And I feel, as your sister, you need to slow down. And again, then she just said, well, we didn't take care of ourselves. So, but no, I feel that you kind of just need to let some things happen.
Yeah. Let go of control.
You gotta, yeah.
Got it.
You need to let. I'm really good at that. I mean, but no, I think both of you are great people and know what you're doing, and I respect, both of you for everything you've done for me, let alone as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see podcast people, you don't see couples that actually work the way they do sometimes. Things like that don't exist all the time now. But anyway, let things happen. Let life happen. Let it go. Don't assume anything.
All right. Have you thought of some crazy shit your kids have done? One in particular story that stands out more than the rest.
My kid ate a candle.
Ate a candle.
Yeah.
Full on. Was it lit?
Actually, it was just the anniversary of Candle Day.
On Facebook, they let you know.
I will never not share it. Yep. Candle Day.
Oh, yeah, he took a whole ass bite out of that candle.
It was one of those candles that looks like a cookie with sprinkles, but not really. Like, it's not convincing to an adult, but to a 3-year-old. He was like, and the way he approached me, he was like, Mom, can I eat this real quick? And I was like, no, it's a candle. It's made out of wax. It's not going to taste very good. And he was like, but you sure? You sure I can't just eat this real quick? And I was like, no, dude, put it back. And like, I told him several times, it is made of wax. It is not edible. Please do not eat the candle. And then he went to the other room out of my line of sight and said that he was putting it back. And then he came walking back in with these perfect little tooth marks out of it, just scraping chewed wax off of his tongue. Like, I should have done that. And I was like, I'm going to take a picture of you right now, and I'm going to share it.
It'll forever
every
be,
year.
Every year. It'll be shared.
Till you're an adult. I'll be like, hey, Oliver, it's Candle Day.
It's 10-year anniversary of your candle day. Oh, you should light a candle every day on that
It's
day.
the 8-year anniversary.
8 years, wow.
It was 2 days ago, yeah.
Autumn, do you have any crazy shit that Ziggy's ever done?
I mean, I think it's just sometimes the stuff that comes out of its mouth is more than...
One of my favorite, it's not even crazy, it's just when he couldn't talk very well. And he's like, NAB, look out the window. And I was like, what? He goes, that sign, it pissed appeared. I said, what did you say? He said, it pissed appeared.
Actually, he's texting me right now, and he says, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I was like, do you know where to go? I was like, did you ask someone? He says, no, I'm just going. I'm really confused, because if he found a plant or, like, I'd be really surprised. He's in the student lounge, so if anybody's there.
Did he just squat down and just, like...
Yeah. Like, today, I asked him for his Valentine's, because they exchanged today. Happy Valentine's Day. I was like, hey, Ziggy, let me see those Valentines. And he was like, yeah, sure, they're in the kitchen. I was like, go get them. Well, I don't have Valentines. I just kept the objects. He kept the little erasers and the tattoos and like them, but he threw all the pieces of paper that had the messages on them away.
See any of his
useless?
No, yeah, pretty much.
Don't want your words.
Or the one time he went into the bathroom and I was like, Zig, what's up, man? He's like, I took my melatonin for today. And I was like, okay, why do you have them? And I was like, how many did you take? And he was like, 6.
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay, I think we're going to go take a nap. We're going to hang out for a little bit till you fall asleep.
There's no avoiding nap time on that day.
No.
No, melatonin is the magic pill.
Well, now they make them little gummy bears too. Now.
Yeah, they're gummies, and
back in the day, they just used to feed us Dimetab.
Yeah.
Now you just get
your robo-tripping.
Robo-trip. No wonder I used to drink bottles of that shit when I became a teenager.
All right. Man. Well, thank you, ladies.
No, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
That's all for today, guys. See you next time. This has been Kenna
and Abe.
See ya.
Until next time.